Hello and welcome to Capacity TV. My name is Malik, reporter at Capacity Media. We're here live at ITW 2023 and I'm delighted to be joined by Annabel Helm, director at the ITW GLF, and Obaid Rahman, vice chair of the ITW GLF. Guys, thank you so much for joining us today.
Hi Saf.
Good to be here. Thank you for having me.
Obaid, let's start with you. You're fairly new to the role as vice chair and you had your first board meeting over here at ITW. What did you guys discuss and why is the board important to the industry?
So firstly, I've been new in the vice chair role, but been a board member for about a couple of years. So very well entrenched in terms of, what's happening, what needs to be done. It's quite turbulent times for us. So, before I talk about the role of GLF, let's talk about what's happening around us. If you look around us, the whole value chain is changing. Comparing to my previous 2 decades in the industry, we've seen transition and change and transformation, but it has always been bite-sized. This time around, there's so many forces coming together. So again, talking about the value chain, if you look at technology, we are talking about cloudification from one side, then APIification, then you've got 5G into the mix, IoT, Web 3.0. So there's so much of disruption, good disruption happening, from the technology standpoint. And that kind of trickles down through the whole value chain. If you look at the industry players, they have to look at, new innovative business models to basically tackle all these things that are happening. Then eventually, if you go further down, the customer and customer needs are changing as well. So all in all, there's so much of disruption, good disruption, as I said, and that needs some directionality. That needs certain vector to be basically put together so that we move in the right direction at the right pace. So, and I think that's the role of GLF board, to basically provide that whole guidance. And I think a lot of work has already been done through the GLF board, and we kind of become we lead by example. So we are a subset of the industry players anyways. We are big players in our own right. We basically take it back, whatever we are doing, good work is being done over here, back into our respective organizations. But beyond that, I think the wider GLF community is playing a big role in there as well. In terms, I'm sure Annabel is going to allude on that as well later on. All the good work that's basically coming in from the community, just putting a kind of a structure around it. So that's what we're doing at GLF board.
Mm-hmm. Oh, follows on nicely, Annabel. We're going to talk about the structure. So talk to us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so I started leading the GLF kind of this time last year, and I struggled a little bit really to understand what we were doing, why we were doing it. Not because it wasn't great work, there was just no real narrative around it. So we did a lot of work as a board, working with Obaid, working with Elizabetta, working with the entire board to really understand where our priorities were and how we needed to deliver in order to actually keep that momentum going, right? Because it's not just about talking, it's about delivering. So we have 4 pillars that are quite simple, or at least in my head they're fairly simple. We have one, which is Digital Infra 2030. That is really looking around topics like network agnosticism, infra mutualization, where are we going, how are we going to get there, kind of really big thorny topics that we need to address as an industry. Then we look at use case enablement. So what products, services, technical capabilities do we need to put in place in order to keep that revenue going, to create value, to drive monetization? Then operational transformation, so kind of that north-south piece. What do we actually need to take back and deliver within our own organization? So looking at API standardization, OSS, BSS, billing and settlement, all of those things that's critical to get right. And then our 4th pillar that really underpins absolutely everything that we do is people. So that's where we do so much work with DIB, diversity, inclusion and belonging, as well as the GLF Accelerator, which is kind of our telecoms MBA style program we launched on Sunday, so a couple of days ago. And then really trying to work and find new partners to see how we can attract, retrain, develop, inspire the right people into our industry, because like Obaid was saying, our business models are changing, new skills are required. Where is that talent pipeline coming from, and how are we as an industry supporting them, training them, giving them the skills to to allow them to thrive, and then take that back and allow our businesses to thrive too. I mean, it's critical.
And Obaid, coming back to you for this one, Annabel just mentioned a couple of the initiatives, but what is next for the GLF?
Look, I think Annabel has alluded all the pillars that have been basically put together. So a canvas has been created. The direction has been, carefully set. I think the next thing that we have to do is the right execution, and execution at every level. Again, talking about the value chain, if you look at technology, making sure that it's not only the right business models, there need to be harmony and standardization as well. We've been talking about federation, but I think we can start a slightly smaller, small syndicates, and then build up to a federation. But I think the best way forward is to basically just come up with a harmonized, coherent, cohesive approach in terms of tackling all these various issues that we are basically having. And then secondly, I would basically second what Annabella was saying about people. We are again at a kind of an inflection point. We need the right people, the right skill set. Right? So it's not only about numbers, it's about the quality as well. So again, we need as an industry, as GLF, I think that's a main work that's cut out for us to upskill people, reskill people. One of the statistics I would basically pick up from yesterday, that there are 60,000 people in our industry or our subsector, and out of that about 20,000 have to be reskilled. That's a big number, and that kind of is going to keep me a little bit worried, because we need the pipeline to be filled in. So making sure that not only the business model and the technology works, we need to have the right asset in terms of people as well.
Well, great work, guys. Look forward to hearing more about the GLF moving forward. Thank you for your time today.
Thank you, Saf.
And thank you guys for watching Capacity TV.